We should show up. We should be here, not like waiting backstage. I don't know what else.
Brought to you by Puffs Plus. Got a little bit of COVID? Oh, you feeling a little sneezy? Get the Puffs Plus because you're gonna fucking need them when you get a cold.
Oh my!
Hey Charles, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling okay, other than the fact that my entire schnozzle, I think you call it the schnozzle, is the medical term for it. The schnozzle system has been clogified from the handlebar zone to above single eyebrow zone is clogified. Schnozzle. It's jacked.
Well, here we are, and we are here for another show.
Yes.
And so we have, a topic about surprise. Who are the guys that took you on your guitar journey, right? Who are the 5 most important people in making you the guitarist who you are today? And so I'm excited about the topic. How about you, Seth?
Yes. So I was just thinking about it. Guitar journey. I had people that took me on actual guitar journeys in their car before I could really drive my own places. But who was? I mean, I think a lot of us are going to have the same people.
There are definitely going to be a lot of people in common, but there are going to be people that surprise us all the way through. But why don't we go ahead and welcome everybody in? Martin from L&M Guitar Corner was in early. He's not going to make the show, but he did leave us his list, and so more on that later. We have Herb of Fireside Ambience and Herb of Fireside Studios.
Somebody's impostering somebody. There's an imposter there some ways, but we don't know which way.
Well, maybe Herb got some water dropped on him, and there was a whole Gremlins kind of thing happening, right? And there were more Herbs.
Somebody has to. How do I super chat backwards and give Ben $40? Yeah, buddy.
There you go. Of course, we're joined by Paul McNeary and all the cats, and our friend Eddie Fay, who says, "I always like your topic choices to prime the conversational flow of the show." So we work really hard at that, so we really appreciate that feedback. Let's see, and Randy Crooks is in the chat. Ferd Burfel, Josh Tanberg, Ben Coomer. And let's see who else.
Oh, shout out for the bass players. Yeah, let's not dog on the bass players, right? Because if they weren't doing the where would we be? We would just be. There'd be no need for us to balance out their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: don't mess with a good bass player. Just leave them alone and let them be good, and then just be like, hey, Bill. It's cool. Can I play that one? And then just because if you got one, hang on to them.
Yeah, there you go. They're in the band.
Hold on to the night.
I'm worried about too much cough medicine. Slow down.
No, this is not coffee. This is hot herbal tea.
All right. So also in the chat, we have Internationally Insane Studios. Welcome in. Martian Murray. Welcome in. Octopus Ears, Wayne McConnell, Symmetry, Rico B.
Hold on. Rico B.
Oh my. Rich 581 is with us. Hello. Hip Metal Works. Let's see. Guitar Man 45. Billy Baloney. Hello there, Billy.
Usually when I ship out guitars, I don't. This is fine. Basically done. Except for I need to play it a lot and enjoy it. I got the string trees on there. Oh, I just need to play it and shred it.
Here you go.
And then I need to send it up to Ben And I was thinking that Ben is one of the guys, since I'm trying to do it on a budget, I don't have a lot of money, and I'm not trying to charge Ben. I could ship it to him and take the neck off, and then Ben, some assembly required. But I know I can freaking rings
Somehow,
and neck
somehow
on.
I think he can manage to put a neck back on.
Exactly. Just have it ready to go, because he's going to want to dial it a little bit anyway, which is slightly offensive, but I get it.
Well, there's what you set up for you, and there's what the next person prefers. Right?
The best setup in the world, and then people touch it and they think they make it theirs, but it's okay, because like you'll work and make someone's guitar perfect, and it's perfect, and then like they get it back and like, oh man, it's great, and then the first thing to do is touch something, and you're like, don't touch anything, dude. I cheat it perfect.
I love it. Symmetry says he is eating chicken. He can't type. All right, well, excuse that. So, who are you as a guitarist, right? The top 5 guitarists that have really shaped your guitar journey. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to run down our lists and then pull the list from the chat? Or
I can just run down, because in the chat is already going to probably have all my favorite players anyway.
There are a bunch of lists in the chat already, but I think we probably should start off with ours, and
so
where things go from there.
Rico B, EVH, and he's on my list. He's the
go ahead and if go ahead and put the comment up there if you're sure.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Rico B. Excuse me. Yep. That was one of mine, like, for sure. I mean, not that it didn't mold that I wanted to do tapping, and but I did want to do more bending after listening to him, but I wanted tone. I wanted high gain and squeals.
Okay, well, if we're sharing that, let's look at Martin's list, right? So Martin's list, it's all, he is big into Clapton. We already knew that. And B.B. King. So Clapton and B.B. King are his first 2. And then he goes to Mark Knopfler, and I can see why, especially with the way, with some of the things that Martin likes to play. And then, of course, he's gone to, from there, he goes to Chris Buck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many good players.
And he goes to our all common friend Krenar, of Krenar guitar, and he has got a really kind of jazzy style, and the guy can really play. And we're all in a chat together, and they're there, in Austria together, and they hang out quite a bit. And so they're always learning from each other. So it's really good, great list. And so he wanted to make sure that, get Krenar got on his list, because Krenar has shaped his playing quite significantly since they've known each other.
I have to check out more of Krenar's playing, because I didn't know he was such a shredder. I'm underinformed, but
he is very, very good.
I like a little bit of. I was realizing I like a little bit of sloppy playing, good but sloppy, like Jimi Hendrix, right, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, both amazing, but both had that tone of overtones, because it's sloppy isn't the right word, right? It's controlled sloppy.
So Herb says Ryan and him have a task for me. They need a ZZ Top furry guitar so they can do a leg short.
Nice. Yes, to spin.
That's actually pretty. It's more easy because you don't have to hide anything. Like the fur hides everything, right? It's long, so it hides all the things.
Just glue and fur and good to go.
But Herb also supplies us with his 5, right? Ace Frehley, Mark Kendall, EVH, Chris Coffey, and Chris DeGarmo. And so another really good list. And you're starting to see some more commonalities on these lists, right? EVH.
I love that Ace Frehley got it number 1, because he didn't make it on my list, but I love it. Like, he's another tone that I tried to emulate, the just edge of breakup, not high gain. Now it's like my middle. Yeah.
Paul is the Cats have spoken, and they like Jeff Beck and Sophie Lloyd. And
nice.
And there was a great documentary on River Docs on Jeff Beck not too long ago, or at least I watched it yesterday, but it was really good. Let's see, who else do we have? All right, so Randy Crooks, and I knew his number one was going to be Terry Kath. I knew it. I just knew. So Terry Kath, Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Dwayne Allman, Peter Frampton, and that's a good list.
Frampton. Oh boy. Come on. Amazing. You want to get some work done and work in the house, put on Frampton Comes Alive and just go. Just do it. Get it done.
And then Eddie Fave, top 5 that require considerable work and prioritization. There are so many. Some are not even famous for the pinnacle of guitar playing and not taking themselves too seriously. And that's true. And the way that I approached it, Seth, was I didn't look for what I thought were the top 5 guitarists, right? Because that's not what this is, right? There's who are the top 5 guitarists that shaped your journey, right? That kind of put you on the road, that made you, that your ears tuned into and said, I like that. Right. And but let's look at Ferd's list. Ferd's got a good list here as well. Terry Kath, Mark Farner, Hendrix, Clapton, Pete Townsend.
Nice.
And the cool thing about as you hear these lists, right? As you look at these lists, you say to yourself, I should have got that one. I should have got that one. That's there too. It's there. And but I took a really practical approach to my list.
Yeah, actually, the Smothers Brothers should have been on my list because, if we're talking about people that really led me along my journey, so I actually wrote a song called, and I played it many years. It's a country song, and when I can sing and I'm not sick, I'll play it and I'll bring out but it's called The Budget Christmas. And it's a country. This year is Budget Christmas. And I basically wrote a song of an excuse of why I didn't buy anybody anything. And I play that song at Christmas. And some of the verses are like, what I would have bought you if I wasn't broke. Anyway, it's a great song.
Yep. I am supporting the channel on my channel.
Nice.
But so I want to talk about my list for a minute here, and I'm going to be selfish and just take over the time and do that because I thought the way I went about it was just really practical. I thought, what was the first music I remember hearing around the house, right? And so the first music that was played all the time around my house was Elvis, and that is not to say that Elvis is the guitarist that sent me on my journey. It's Scotty Moore because he is the guitarist behind all those licks in all those early Elvis songs, right? And also from watching, I remember watching Elvis's '68 comeback. Later on as it came on TV because I was born in '69. So, but I remember the '68 comeback being played all the time, and I remember my father when it came out in VHS. He got it, and we would watch it all the time. And but I remember Scotty Moore's Gibson from that, his hollow body from that concert. And I remember when Elvis picked it up and played it. And so Scotty Moore is that sound behind that first music I was really hearing in the house. And then another big
hold on, I have it on really good advice that Scotty Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Actually was a time traveler and traveled forward in time and stole most of his shit from Taylor Swift and then went back and wrote it all for Elvis. And so but he was smart, right? But he didn't invest in Apple because he didn't check the stocks when he was out. He was a very busy guy, that guy.
Oh, that's too much.
I'm sorry. And go ahead, Scotty Moore.
So Scotty Moore was first on my list,
Yes.
and then in terms of pure guitar, it was BB King, and really, just the simpleness of the phrasing, the economy of the playing, right? It always stuck in my head, and BB King led me to so many other people, right?
Yep.
And of course, you can't be an '80s kid without having heard some Clapton, right? There's just no way. And so Clapton makes my list. And when I got into that phase where I was picking my own music, I really gravitated to Styx. And so, their lead guitarist, Tommy Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan had been a big fan of his ever since I saw him when he was on Austin City Limits. And I was watching Austin City Limits.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would say Tommy Shaw is so much more talented. And I'm sorry to say this, guys, you're going to hate me, than Clapton. I love Clapton. I think he's great. I like his music. But I think that he never invented anything new. Did he? Or am I wrong? Or did he just do stuff he did it well, but he did stuff. Anyway.
Well,
on Clapton anyway. But I just don't like it.
If for nothing else, Clapton is on my list for the guitar solo on My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Right.
And so him and George Harrison, it was kind of tough. Was he going to make the list, or was George going to make the list? Right. But there was enough other Clapton in what I was listening to that I thought that was where that would go. And of course, so Stevie Ray Vaughan is my number 5, and I've got a couple honorable mentions that we can talk about later. Because
did I tell you my Clapton story, which might make me partial to why I didn't like Clapton as much? But so this is a tale from my dad, so take it with a grain of salt. But my stepdad, so he was living in the Bay Area. He lived with a technical wizard who actually built this big sound system at the Fillmore and either built people amps or modded their amps. And my dad did that with him because my dad could kind of interpret what the people wanted and tell his super genius guy who could build the right setup. Anyway, so they built some amps for Cream, and Cream, now I realize it was more of a compliment, but he said, "Oh yeah, this amp is great." And then my dad was playing guitar. He was like, "Well, no, don't quit your day job," meaning keep building amps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was awesome.
Well,
Clapton.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. As a person, Clapton's not a great person, but he's a great guitarist. It's the same thing with Ted Nugent, right? As a person, Ted Nugent's not a great person, but he's a fantastic guitarist,
right?
It's like, so can you separate those things?
And
BC Rich shouts out the top 5 bass players: Jocko, Victor, Stanley, Getty, and the Ox.
See, I like how he can say his bass players with one name. Like we could say, Jimmy, Stevie. If I say Larry, you know who that is? Larry Carlton.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go.
Larry Carlton on there.
I was diving in the chat looking for our next pull up.
With the team, gonna do it.
You'll like this. Octopus here says you look like a cowboy boot salesman.
Actually, I want to be a cowboy boot salesman. Dude, they make a ton of money, I bet, huh?
And I have no doubt about this Guitar Man 45 that we would need to hear. I mean, you have some stories. We know.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
You better get Guitar Man on the channel.
But the question is, where did that story start? And so we got a bunch of folks saying hello to each other, and we are way behind in the chat.
Oh my God.
So Billy is just going to kind of be lurking tonight. He's kind of busy.
Nice.
All right, so we got Rico B's 5.
Okay, what do you got, Rico?
He's got EVH, Lyson, Angus, DeMartini, and Joe Perry.
Angus. Angus wasn't on my list. That's another tone killer.
Okay, okay, Coombs. No, you don't get to cop out here. Again, it's not the top 5. It's what are the? Just give us a general idea.
Actually, Ben gets to give us his top 10.
You just give us 10.
Ben can get 10 because he has gathered from all underneath all pebbles and areas to get the tone wisdom.
Randy, I think David Gilmour gets to be everybody's free tack on, if he's not already on.
Yes, he's your +1.
He's your +1.
No matter how many people you got coming. Oh, Gilmour gets in. Gilmour always gets in.
Oh, Zach Thorne, welcome in. Yeah, I mean, it's. I cannot tell you how much time of my life has been spent listening to Pink Floyd and Gilmour solos, right? Here's Fox Guitar Rocks 5, Paige, Angus, his mom, Alex, and Luther Perkins. Alex Skolnick and Luther Perkins.
Oh, Alex Skolnick. Remind me who he's from.
That is the one I can't place him. The name's familiar, but I can't place him.
Yeah, I remember metal band. I think some kind of metal band. Mm-hmm.
Which is not really.
Was very good at chewing gum and doing solos at the same time, which is a thing all throughout the late 80s and 90s. You had to be able to chew gum.
Okay, so we have a report in from Canada. Ben Coombs is going with his dad. Very good choice. Jimmy Page, Ronnie Wood, Izzy Stradlin, and Ace Frehley. I think Ace Frehley's just in there because he likes to say Ace Frehley sauce. I'm just speculating.
Okay. Ace Frehley sauce.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page, Hendrix, Angus.
Honorable mention. Oh, do you need to see that list again?
Nope. I was reading, Terry Cheat, 3Gs.
Well, welcome in, Theory 3Gs. I didn't see your list yet. Hold on. But we have Internationally Insane Studios, David Gilmour. Whoa. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My 5: Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Angus Young, David Wilcox, Ben's favorite guy, the originator. Yeah, Les Paul did kind of slack off from time to time, but he was a busy guy.
Well, Jerry, it's a pretty good list.
That was amazing, yeah.
Yeah. So, Internationally Insane Studios, David Gilmour, Tom Petty, Joe Walsh, Jimmy Page, Brian May. Fantastic list there. It's like all people that weren't on my list, but if I could tack on, would definitely be a tack on.
Mesa, guitar guy, yes, that's why we're here, is to hear your top 5. Because you probably got, we all have like different people, but I already told you my 4. I saved my top 5 because it's someone that not everybody knows, but I say him every week. Todd Nichols from Toad the Wet Sprocket. So good at that melodic ability to add the stuff in the chord harmonies. And a great singer too, and a great performer all around. So he made my top 5, although not like world renowned but molded me how I play.
All right, so are you just doling out your top 5 as we go through? You're not going to give them us all together?
Oh, we can do it all. I can do it all at once, but I'm just kind of going random. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, no, I'm having trouble putting together your list because I'm not like they're going in.
It's easy. It's Jimi Hendrix, Larry Carlton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eddie Van Halen, Todd Nichols.
Okay. That's a good list too.
But I was only going like famous people. I would probably put my dad and my stepdad in there, maybe. Although,
and that's what this list is all about. If your dad was a person that sent you on that journey, by all means, he should be on that list, right?
What's weird is that like I didn't really watch his playing that much and try to like go after his playing, but because his playing was going on around, I went for his tone. I wanted to sound like him, but I didn't like look at him and try to play. Oh, I got to do that lick that way, or anything, you know.
Well, but did being around it give you a love for it?
Keith, yes, thank you, buddy. Yeah, you get it, right? All those, and because they play a lot in capoed stuff, and so they get all these cool sliding within the chords, so good. And it when you hear that, and it makes you want to go and write in different keys, and it makes you want to change around your guitar tone. So,
well, Billy Baloney's top 5: Ron Wood, Mike Campbell, Kevin Shields, Jimmy Page, Robert Smith, in no particular order.
yeah,
it's another good list, and it's again, you see you're among all these lists are commonalities that are coming out between different ones, and one of the things that I think you have to say about this is, again, even I hate it when you get those lists of who are the top 5, because there really isn't. Okay, this one is the greatest of all time. We're like so pulled into that all the time.
and your top 5 will change over 10 years.
Yeah,
your top 5 today will be different,
Right, and it's going to change, but I always look at it as here are a bunch of really talented people all doing something different, right? And so it's not like one's better than the other. You're different flavors.
Oh, Mark Knopfler was in there a little bit earlier, Ryan, but yes, I mean, all that finger style, and I did. So that's actually my test to make sure a Strat plays good, is a little bit of Knopfler style.
So Vox Guitar Rock says Maybelline Carter, even though she said I'm not really a guitar player, I wish I could not be a guitar player like her. Yeah, she could play. And I think that's one of the really interesting things to me about guitar is no matter how good somebody is,
the sneeze is coming. Keep going.
No matter how good somebody is, most guitarists will sit there and tell you they wish they were better, right? There's always somebody better.
Actually, Charles, I found that at this point I'm just too good. So I go in and I try to practice, but I try to forget things. Like, pentatonic scale, don't need that. Need to forget that, because then I'm forced to play only in retrospective mode devices.
Well, in Herb Fireside Studios got a really good point with Roy Clark, a fantastic guitarist. And I heard him growing up. I heard him just as much on guitar as I did on banjo. Right?
I thought we were doing worse guitarists. I had like Lil Wayne. Okay, let's just switch it around. So we got Lil Wayne. Who else is going to make that list as a word?
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there, please.
And I love you, dude. I love you, dude. And I wanted to open up for you someday. But Justin Bieber, if you've ever held a guitar and tried to play it, you're going to go on the list with Lil Wayne. Anybody can send me a video of Bieber trying to play.
Randy, I agree with you. I think Clapton's work with Cream is really a lot of his best work.
Yeah, I'm not trying to dog on Clapton's playing and all that. I think I had a bad taste in my mouth as a kid because he's amazing.
No, I like you said, not all these folks are really great people, but maybe great musicians.
Oh, Cobain. See, I said earlier, Keith, that I like the sloppy playing and the super dirty tone. And here's the thing about Kurt Cobain that's crazy, that even though he was, not super technical, because he wrote most of the music and would tell the bass player, not tell, but his ability to create underlying chords with using chords was just unbelievable. Anyway, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's probably I'll put him right underneath Bieber. We'll put him on the Bieber list.
I want to say hello to Ryan OU812. Welcome in. And Octopus Ears had a video put out earlier. He's got a guitar he's bringing in. He's got a surprise he's going to be showing off on Sunday, so be on the lookout for that.
I bet Justin Bieber can play every. Octopus Ears said that Justin can play drums. I bet he could probably play a bunch of instruments. I'm just kidding. He's just using me.
Brian, why did I suspect this? Brian's top 5: EVH, Cantrell, and Gilmore. Very good.
Yeah, Cantrell. Mm-hmm.
This would have been a really great show if we had just pulled a bunch of people on the show, because they had that conversation about why this one and how this person added to someone's guitar journey, right? Why they were such a big part of it.
Well, we haven't mentioned my favorite guitarist, which was Zach from Saved by the Bell in episode 37, when he played the guitar. Yes, he is the actual reason why I had to get into it. So, yep. Mm-hmm. Truth be told, Saved by the Bell, my friend.
I don't know what to do with that. I just don't know what to do with that.
You choose your lunchbox and I'll choose mine, Charles.
All right, but you're not sitting at my table.
That's okay.
All right, so Octopus Ears. This was a list I was interested in seeing. So Octopus Ears has Hetfield, Hammett, Gilmore, Page, SRV in no particular orders. And if Gilmore's the +1, he's torn between Hendrix and Rhodes. Yeah.
But you can also opt for Hammett, or the other guy from Metallica, Hetfield. They can also be a +1 because they're almost like no one's going to not let them on the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like they just walk up. They're like Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk can probably walk almost anywhere, even in local government buildings, without really being stopped because he's Tony Hawk. What is he going to do? He's going to, he's Tony Hawk. He might do a kickflip, but he's not there to bomb the place. So, you know what I mean? Like he can just he can breeze through when you're that famous, and so they just get to come along. Hey, Tony, come on our show, dude. It's been a while since we hung out.
Keith Campbell gives us his 5: EVH, SRV, Gilmore, Beck, and Page. Very good list. Very solid list.
I mean, yes. That would be a great list just to put on that for like an hour in the house. Just play a little bit of each, and you'd be in a good mood.
Randy Crooks is cheating. He's picking a second 5.
That dude, Randy.
Prince, Michael Campbell, Frank Marino, Buddy Guy, and George Benson. Another good, solid list.
Doesn't Buddy Guy play the polka dotted Strats?
Yes.
I like that. And they might be hardtails too. Probably not, but they might be hardtails.
Let's see. Paul, that's funny that, a lot of people are saying that Fire God Gilmore, so I'm replacing Jimmy Page with Gilmore in my top 5. And it's really, everyone that said this, 5 was too hard for this list. When you talk about people that you like and that have shaped your journey, 5 really was really limiting because there were 2 more. I had my 1 through 5 were solid. They were going to be on that list no matter what, right?
Right.
Okay. But I had a 7 list, and so my 2 honorable mentions were Brian Setzer and Steve Cropper, and so between Scotty Moore and B.B. King and Setzer, not surprising why a fellow likes hollow body guitars.
Charles, are you familiar with the B.B. King box?
The box?
The B.B. King box.
Oh, his box. It's kind of like the pentatonic box, but the box he uses.
Just
Mhm.
That's basically. So if you can do that, you can play almost all of his solos. I mean, you have to move it around, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's his thing. So fun.
That's right. I remember hearing that called that before, and that he played within that particular box.
You thought I was going to bring out like an actual box. Check it out.
No, it was. I wasn't thinking about the guitar, and it took me a while to get back to it. And it was, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. So we already showed Terry's top 5. It was a really good one too.
I always thought that the acronym CAGED is a stupid acronym for unlocking a fretboard.
We're gonna unlock it by putting it in a key.
You're caged, and you're like, well, that's not what I want. I wanted to be able to shred, and you guys tell me I got to be caged.
Yeah, Les Paul. Yeah, Mesa guitar guy. Yes, you can play.
That's what I told Mesa a while back. I was like, send us 5, send us 10, send us your worst. We just like to play along. We appreciate
That's
you
right.
being here. My Mesa's right over there. If you go from here to there, behind said computer is my Mesa.
Billy,
Charles.
I'm not responding to this, Billy.
I like pink. You guys, I like pink. Look at the sparkle behind me. Machine Gun Kelly, probably a pretty nice guy, even though he's considered to be a jerk, because sometimes people have to have the bad guy persona to get paid, but he actually takes his neighbor groceries and like, I got you an avocado.
Well, Mesa guitar guy did give us his list. He said Lifeson, Buck DeHarmon, Michael Schechner, Scott Henderson, and Gilmore. Again, and others. I wish I could hear the stories to go along with these, right? You know, listen to each person talk about how each guitarist brought them forward on that journey, right? Why that particular one. Because I think that's where the real stories are here.
I wish that every time we said one of their names, one of their riffs just automatically played for us. And then say, oh, well, Eddie Van Halen. And go. Anyway, we don't have that.
Michael B. Live. I'm sorry. So sorry to cut you off, Seth. Welcome in Michael B. Live. His list, Pete Townsend, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, and don't hit him, The Edge. No, I think The Edge is a great choice.
Yeah, I forgot my favorite one of all time, Mesa guitar guy, and you called it out. I'm literally building myself a Luke. And so yeah. Oh yeah, one too. Gotta give you a hint about my Sunday surprise. It might be a Telecaster shaped object if Charles is gonna love it.
No, well, this is something that OU812 might be interested in.
Oh, that it's probably gonna have stripes on it.
So it's definitely not a Telecaster.
Sorry.
No, we're starting to get in supplemental lists here.
I haven't even gotten
started. Soundgarden, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Neil Young. Okay.
This is the Lukather style body.
Marcia Marie says Robert Smith probably has my favorite jazz master as a pickup behind the bridge. Interesting. So are you showing off parts again?
Well, that's sorry, I'm about to sneeze. You guys want to get this? I'm so sorry, dude. I'm
all over the lens. All over the lens.
I'm here. I didn't miss. But sorry. I'm gonna build a Luke style guitar. So it's going to be single. It's going to be, I'm going to do 21 fret, and it's a hardtail, and it's going to be Bartolini. I'm going to go with white pickups. I'm going to go with a roasted maple neck, very much like this, because I like them. They're so good.
I will tell you, the fabric topper in me is really, the fabric topper in me is really appreciating those bodies, those strats with a back cavity.
Oh, the back cavity?
Yeah, so I know what my next orders are going to be.
Yeah, I wanted to do the top routed, so no pick guard, and just you decide where the knobs go within reason. You have your area, and then I went with the 3-bolt because it's cool.
So you're going no pick guard?
No pick guard.
So you're gonna hard mount them?
What's that?
You're gonna hard mount your picks?
Yeah, that's kind of why, I did the without the routing, right? So I could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. That's the next one in line. I've been sick, so I haven't been really building.
Getting older is realizing that Stevie Ray Vaughan, Hendrix, and Albert King are all one player.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and how how have we gone this long without talking about Billy Gibbons, right?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, right. So good, Billy Gibbons. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Let's go on with the unmentions.
Well, and then here's Brad Guitar Miller. Welcome in. Welcome in. He is just dropping in for Terry Kath, Jimmy Page, Joe Walsh, EVH, and Gary Moore. See, we hadn't talked about Gary Moore yet, so that's another good addition.
We didn't talk about Gary Holt from Exodus. We didn't talk about who's the guy from Slayer. They were also crazy shredders. Oh, Chiquiso. Mm-hmm.
So you have that, and Rico. I wonder if Rico's saying this is just a tough list to put together, right? Because 5 is very limiting, and you think you're right.
Well, yeah, it is. 5 is tough.
And Billy's right. Billy says his top 5 change in regulations. Can't believe he left out Charlie Starr. Loves it and love his playing, and that's the whole thing. Is your life is kind of is like chapters in a book, right? And who your top 5 is different in chapter 1 than it is in chapter 7.
Yeah, so good to do this tonight because you remember back. Oh, there's a chapter, a guy I didn't mention, and it's go back to Toe the Wet Sprocket again. But the main singer for Toe the Wet Sprocket, Glenn Phillips, his guitar playing and his solo act kind of inspired me in a time when I was doing semi-pro surfing to pick up the acoustic a lot. And that's what kept me in guitar throughout a period where I wasn't into electric guitar. I was up until 18, and then I dropped it until I was in my 30s and played acoustic guitar that whole time, which I'm so glad I did because I stayed with it,
So Terry gives us a list of his top 5 bass, top 5 of bass. Les Claypool, Flea, Sean. I have no idea how you say this last name. Yourself, of White Zombie fame, and John Paul Jones and Nicky Tedesco. So very good.
White Zombie had such good bass lines.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where this is going, Eddie Faye, but I'm getting worried.
Wait, no, it's not easy, I bet, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you saying, Eddie? Is it hard? Yep, some stuff is hard, but most stuff, I like to always point out, most stuff is easy. Most people wrote shit to be fairly easy to play.
Well, if nothing else, Seth, maybe what we're having this conversation tonight will do what it's doing for Wayne, right? I'm going to go pick up my human practice.
Nice.
Nothing else. And I know that before the show, I had been up and able to play guitar in a couple of days. And before the show, I picked up the Guild, and I was strumming on that and playing some things and working on some stuff before the show. So
sounded great. Like that guitar sounds really good.
I'm very happy with that set of D'Addario strings on it. Those XSs, yeah.
Well, they'll last you a lot longer too, because you could be very happy with a set of D'Addario less expensive ones, and you'd be super stoked. But for about half, like a third as long, because they're just going to get dead, right? And then these ones are going to last a lot longer.
So Vox Guitar Rock says Jason Becker. Anyone?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's another.
I've been way behind on a lot of parking tickets, so he might not get to come to the party.
So Hip Metalworks gives us his list, right? Al Dio Molina, Leona Boyd, Bruce Cochran, Joe Satriani. The first time I heard Joe Satriani tonight, and Steve Vai.
Joe who and Steve who?
And hello there, Martin Lemaire.
They're probably so offended. They're like, these mother effers are 46 minutes in, and no one has said my goddamn name. And you know that they're both watching together on a love seat, passing chips back and forth. When are they going to say our names? I don't know, man. I thought we were still relevant. Well, I've been selling a lot of fucking guitars. What about you? Well, I released something on Spotify last month, and so, yes, guys, sorry we forgot about you, but we did mention you, and, hair loss is a thing. I'm there with you. It's coming. So.
It's coming for us all. Martin Bear, SRV, Hendrix, Peter Townsend, John Schofield, and Kirk Gales. So another good list. And it's about time that this list came in. Did you just wake up, or what's going on? All right, Trev, Edward Dimebag, Jeff Hanneman, Pop Het, and Malcolm Young.
Nice.
And when you realize that the band, where Trev is and the kind of music he likes, that's a really great list.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I guess there wasn't a whole lot of the Larry Carlton lovers and the jazzy jazz, but
I think it's just hard when you start putting 5 is tough. 5 is tough.
Yeah, that is tough. And the other ones make a bigger impression.
Now he's trolling us.
No, I mean, yeah, and wait, are we going to forget about Keith Urban? And Keith is probably sitting behind the couch, behind the other guys. Come on, guys.
Seth, there's a public service announcement posted for you.
No more. Where? That is not something you'd admit in public. Which one?
Not sure. Could be, considering how far back. All right, so Eddie Fay.
That was from Ben. So eventually we're gonna hang out, and then it'll be like we'll be at dinner. And you're right. There's some things that I shouldn't admit, probably out personally, but that makes me like who I am. And you're like, what the hell did you just say? And it's like totally true, and it's just who I am. So sorry.
So Ferd is saying that Rick Springfield didn't play the solo on Jesse's Girl. It was Neil Gerardo. And Eddie Fay, I love him for this. Because what about the guitar player who played the Westerns like Good, Bad, and the Ugly? All those all the guitar songs from all those spaghetti Westerns, right?
We are forgetting one of the best players of all time, was Ralph Macchio. From the Crossroads solo. That was actually him. And we have to thank him for that.
So Keith Campbell says that the very first MPV Unplugged was SRV and Satriani with two separate performances.
Wow.
That's interesting. I don't remember that.
You can probably watch it on YouTube for free. Oh, In Excess. Good call.
Nope. Well, Nancy Wilson.
Oh, and who is the woman guitar player for Prince. And Prince, we should mention Prince. Prince could also sneak in because he's so small. He could have just he could just like tuck in and like he could go in a squat.
But he can't sneak in because he's too flashy.
Hey, what was it? I mean, he could pass for this guitar. You just like, what was that? Oh, it was that guitar? Don't worry.
So Ryan chimes in. Yes, Nancy Wilson was his favorite to look at.
Oh, Lita Ford. I went to Lita Ford. Lita, who's also watching. You're hot still. And you'll always be hot. Call me up again, Lita.
So Guitar Man 45 has broken the silence and given us some names. So Jimmy Page, Randy Rhoads, Blackmore, Schechner, Setzer, Morse, Pat Metheny, and a few more. All right, so he coughed up some names.
We forgot Zach Wild. We forgot Zach Wild.
Yeah, well, that's another name we have not heard tonight yet.
He's on the couch too, on the side couch.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I saw that trade that Terry did. That looked amazing. That PV amp.
Yeah, that was a nice amp.
That looks like fun. And anytime you can get rid of a 7-string, that's a win in my book.
Hey, I'm still struggling with 6 strings. The 7-string would just be completely ridiculous.
It's not a thing. No need. Oh God. It's like it's half allergies and half head cold. It's just so bad. Mm-hmm.
So Internationally Insane Studio says, okay, everybody has to come up with 5. 5 more for the list. Okay,
Brian May. Yeah, he's good. He is really good. I don't trust anybody who just does one guitar. That's some bullshit. You got to have more than one guitar, especially if you're Brian May. But this is the one red guitar. That is not the way to do it. You have many guitars.
Yeah, can't forget Steve Luthiker, right?
Yeah, I didn't forget.
Ron Giles, Ellie Easton, Joe Perry. Okay. Octopus Ears does mention, give the honorable mention to Zach Wild.
Zach Wild's not sneaking in anywhere. He's going to need to have a pass, and they're going to check his ID, and they still might not let him in because he looks like a criminal.
See, Vito Brada for an honorable mention from OU812. Keith Campbell's bringing in Brian May. I think his list is up to 9 if I'm reading that right.
Tom Morello.
So, you see how you do this. It just starts triggering everybody, right?
Charles, you have your phone off. You can send it to me.
What's that?
Embarrassing text. Ben was saying that you had your phone off. No one blew me up tonight. Where is
Well, I'm just being reminded of how far back in the chat I really am.
Should I call Quentin? See if he's at dinner.
No. We're 4 minutes out. We're 6 minutes out. We're good.
I'm saying we want to have mutual harassment. Oh boy. Let's see. Steve has a new album. Oh. Okay.
Okay, so he's got that amp more tuned in. It sounds good. And it was Sean Pierce Johnston approved as well. Yeah, he
there you go. That would get you on board.
Well, I watched that trade video, and my comment on that was, if that trade made you happy, you got a good deal, right? Because if you have a bunch of stuff you're not using, and then that's what you do, It works for me.
Yeah, get rid of that 7-string. You didn't need it.
Yep. And Randy says most lists are based on what you listen to often. Many others are going to be the list that don't come to mind. Sure.
Absolutely. And it'll come to your mind later and you're like, oh, man, I should have
It's
had
like Fox Guitar Rocks brings up Glenn Campbell. You know how much Glenn Campbell I've listened to in my life? And phenomenal guitarist, right?
Right. Walking around within the chord and like knowing where to go. Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent. You know, and you can't have your last name can't be Nugent and not listen to Ted Nugent, right?
You have to be a part of that, right? That's so funny. Nugent and Presley. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we're all kind of old to but you know, all that blues guitar does really kind of start with Robert Johnson. So this is a name I'm embarrassed to admit I'm not familiar with.
No.
At least it's not ringing a bell.
Yep.
It took you long enough, Coombs. Took you long enough.
Well, of course, right? That's one of those ones. Who's going to not let Waylon on the bus?
Yep. Buddy Holly's another one. And so, the guitar playing on Scotty Moore's guitar playing with Elvis was what led me to Buddy Holly. So, again, with a list of 5, I had to start where I started.
Buckethead.
Yeah.
We didn't say Buckethead.
Tommy Tedesco and Carol Kay from our friend Paul McCann.
I've seen Buckethead perform live a number of times. And
I was wondering how long it was going to take Terry to pull this one out.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we go, we've got 3 minutes. Who are the best YouTube guitar players? Ooh. Like shredders.
See, but you'll never hear me say who are the best because I'm a firm believer against that, right? Because there's just so much talent out there to say that this person is better than this person doesn't really work for me. It's different flavors. It's things that you know. Now, if you want to compare, blues guitarist against blues guitarist, that's one thing, right? So Scott Brockway has shown up, and he gives us a list. Randy Rose, Tommy Iommi, James Hetfield, Glenn Tipton, Jimmy Page, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And Josh is chiming in and say James Hetfield for sure. And for YouTube guitarists, I believe that was what Ryan was responding to with Pete Thorne.
Yeah, Pete Thorne is amazing. Yep. Also,
RJ Ronquillo, another good one.
RJ.
Sure. For YouTube, Scott Brockway says Andy Wood, Pete Thorne, Troy Grady. Okay.
Let's call out that McKnight has gotten really good at playing in the last couple of years. His playing's amazing.
He has been putting in some solid work.
He can play way better than me. Shredding. Oh, Ryab or that guy, Rabia. What's his name? Rabia. Afro dude shredder. Yeah,
the guy with all the big hair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you start talking about that, then you have to talk about Phil X and,
So I guess what we concluded tonight is that you could literally say the name of really good guitar players if you have a collaboration of people for 1 hour pretty easily and just be naming off different people.
Here you go, Pops.
So what I'm thinking is that we all chose the wrong instrument. We all need to pursue different things because there's so many good players out there. I'm going and trading these things for a trumpet tomorrow. No, I would suck it.
You will find yourself in a similar conversation no matter what instrument, I think. But maybe a little more heated amongst guitarists, but I think it's out there in others. In Eddie Faye's adding in Joe Bonamassa as well.
No,
Joe but here's the one thing for sure.
Joe Bonamassa is excluded. Hear me out. Joe Bonamassa is excluded because he has had too many signature guitars. Sorry. Well, you get up to like 27 signature guitars, you don't get to be on the best players list anymore because you can play so good. You did too many, dude. Too much. No, I'm just kidding. Joe Bonamassa is amazing.
So, Seth, before we go ahead and go out the door and thank these wonderful people for being on the show and sharing their list with us, because that was a lot of fun to me, because really thinking about, as we're hearing all these different names, how, yes, I agree with that, and I agree with that, and it just reinforces that there's just so much talent out there, and it brings you back to what this guitar community is really like, right?
Totally.
And how we all appreciate each other in different styles and all that, and we all kind of work together. What have you got coming up? What have you got coming up on your channel?
I've been sick, so I haven't really. I just released a little tiny bit of footage of this getting wrapped up. So this is going to be up for sale, and then I was going to do a final video of this purple dealio before it goes out, but I've just been feeling so bad for the last 3 days that I haven't had the energy to create. So, but go and subscribe nonetheless to Pressley California Customs, because it is the most frequently unsubscribed channel on YouTube.
So a couple, something to really go ahead and just kind of think about. In terms of, make sure you go over there and make sure you sub, because if you're not there, you're missing some pretty interesting builds. And I heard that the guy can sing too. So if you haven't been over there, just go ahead and go check him out. So on my Sunday show, Seth.
Yeah.
I have a guest for my Sunday show. And so we have Herb of Fireside Studios coming on as my guest.
That's awesome, dude. He's going to be awesome.
If you have not checked out Herb, I'm going to go ahead and copy his link and put it in the chat. And Seth, I put yours in there too, so that people can go subscribe to you. But go check out Herb of Fireside Studios. He does some really creative stuff, and we're going to talk about his love of Kramer and a bunch of other stuff. And so it'll be a good show. So
everybody who's here who's already subscribed to Ben, if you are on a video from Ben, or go to Ben's channel, grab a video that you like, that you thought was funny, like maybe the soda pop tasting where he throws the can, send it to a friend, right? And say, hey, I know you like guitar. This is somebody that I watch. Sub to this, because Ben is so close to $5,000, and it's like a thing. Let's get him to $5,000 so he breaks that level. And so that's what I'll do, is I'll make the promise to send it to one friend, a video from him saying, hey, I watch this all the time. You should check it out too.
Right, good idea. And so Rico wants you to get better soon.
Thanks, man.
And so with that, so I've got so Sunday I've got Herb coming on. Now that it's warmed up a little bit, I can spray some clear again. And
nice.
So we got clear going on the Warlock.
Nice.
And we are really close to putting clear on Charles Green's guitar as well.
Beautiful.
So,
hey, don't forget, for people that are still here, to email Charles at his information's in the link below to come on and like do a guitar parade and just check in with us. We would even like potentially, this is for Sunday, but we'd even like potentially like 1 or 2 people that want to come through and check in on a Sunday, maybe for 15 minutes, depending on how invested you are and what you want to show us. So that'd be cool. So, as always, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. If you ever want to be on the Sunday show, or you want to come on and join Seth and I here, and you want to come maybe show off some of your gear, you can email either Seth and I, and I'll get that posted into the description of this live stream later on. Okay. Absolutely. Dude,
Yeah.
Charles, thank you. It's been fun. I had to make it, even though I'm sick as hell. I just want to make sure I made it.
Well, and I'm glad you did. It was a fun show to be in. We've got a great group of folks here, and so really enjoyed that. So until next week, folks, enjoy your guitar journeys.